Update you on the situation in France, where demonstrators, of course, had clashed with riot police on the streets of the capital. That unrest stemming from President Macron's plans to increase the retirement age from 62 to 64. These were the scenes yesterday with the tear gas canisters, this particular area of Paris, Montparnasse, because protesters set the bistro on fire, favoured by President Macron, as well as burning wheelie bins and e-scooters on the streets. The president, of course, on this state visit to China, that was the awning at the La Rotonde restaurant or brasserie frequented by Macron. Well, joining us now, Charles-Henri Gallois, the leader of France's Génération Frexit group. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Charles-Henri. And the reaction, of course, yesterday was quite not violent, but it was a strong protest. We understand things are a bit calmer today. Is that right?
Hello. Yeah. Today it's more calm, let's say, because you have normally, and you will have one next week. You have one strike per week. I mean, I think the movement will go on until Macron cave in about his pension reform. So I think it will continue. So it's true that there has been some violence. You have to condemn each kind of violence from the manifestants and also from the police. But you should have in mind that in France, people are very angry about Macron. First, because they don't want this reform. If you look at the polls, you have 73% of the French people that does not want this reform. 93% if you take out the people that are already retired. So it's massive opposition. There is opposition, let's say, about the reform, but also, let's say, you have, I think, this kind of violence because Macron, in the way he passed the reform without a vote in the parliament, and also about, his way, his behavior is quite violent in that part. And he always, I don't know why he always speak badly about French people and so on. Just the day before the strike, it looked like he wants, the chaos to be the law and order party, but it's not working anymore. He did that after the yellow jacket, but now it's not working. And if you look all the polls, whether it's for presidential election or parliamentary election, Macron is really very, very low everywhere in France.
Yeah, and we understand, we're just seeing the pictures again from yesterday, this restaurant or bistro, the La Rotonde, that was attacked because it is favoured by Macron. So clearly it's not just the issue of the retirement age, it is personal for many of these protesters.
Yeah, I mean, the people are against the pension reform, and I understand it very well. And it can be understood above all because you know that this pension reform is not even a French initiative. It's compulsory asked by the European Union to get the European Recovery Fund. So we are against this reform, but it go beyond that, and it's the person really of Macron. I think if the French people will be able to choose or have a referendum about it, they will ask Macron to leave. His legitimacy is very low, and actually there has been a poll. If we redo, let's say, the presidential election tomorrow, Marine Le Pen would have won in the second one, 55 against 45, so it's more than 12 points more for Marine Le Pen and 12 points less for Emmanuel Macron. So it tells you, let's say, how Macron is low for the French people, because of course you have some people from the left that will still vote against Marine Le Pen. So to have this 55% for Marine Le Pen is quite huge, and it tells you a lot about how the French people feel about Macron.